Hey everybody, pop culture. Today we're covering the latest of the Warner Media streaming releases on HBO Max, Godzilla vs. Kong. Talk to me, Jeff.
Okay, so I finally did find the original Godzilla. Um, and it was my fault. It was up there all along. I just read the description, and the description said, um, it said that there was 1954 in the description. So I just, oh, this is the original. I'm not going to watch this. Then I actually read the rest of the description, found out it was the newest one. So I watched that. Now I've watched all of these monster movies, and
hmm
I have issues. One of my
Well,
main
yeah, everybody that's listened to the show for years knows that you have issues, Jeff.
One of my main issues is, I mean, I'll say this, they did a decent job of bridging the gap with the Godzilla movies because, Dr. Serizawa was in the first one, then he was in the second one. Was her name Morgan? The kid was in the second one, then she was in the third one, or Madison is Madison.
Madison. Yeah.
So, they did a good job of bridging the gap there. My main issue was with Kong. There was nobody, first of all, like here I am getting ready. I was actually excited to watch this movie. I really enjoyed the other three. Was actually really excited to watch this movie. And we start with Kong waking up. He yawns, he stretches, he scratches his ass.
Yeah.
What the hell was that all about?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what you see from monkeys all the time is they're scratching their butts. So,
Yeah, but I don't know. It was kind of that comedy thing that I just wasn't really needing, I
oh,
guess.
I didn't
Um,
laugh at it.
no, I
But of
didn't
course,
either, but
you had told me about it a few hours before I actually saw it. So,
they were going for that comedy, making him a human, humanizing him, basically is what they were doing. Because that's a big joke. You'd see it on TV. Al Bundy used to do it all the time, and it was just a little comedy thing that got to me. The other thing that got to me was that Godzilla did a nice thing or good thing with bridging the gap and keeping characters somewhat similar. I mean, the original one, it was that Ford Brody or whatever who was the main character, but Dr. Serizawa was there. And then the second one, you came in with um, the new family that was the experts and everything, and they did a good job of explaining that. They teamed him up with Serizawa, then and then in this last one, Madison was kind of the main whatever. Um,
wasn't Kyle Chandler in all three of them too?
who was that?
The dad was it Madison's
Nope,
dad also
he
in?
was not. I was specifically looking for him in the first one, and
Okay,
I
I thought
didn't.
he was. Okay.
If he was a small bit player, and they never called him by name.
Okay.
And in the third one, he was clearly a bit player because I think he was only in three scenes. You
Pretty
know,
much.
um, but then there was no bridge between Skull Island and this one, none at all. Every character was different.
And well, and Skull Island was the very first of the movies, right?
No, it was the second Godzilla, then Skull Island, then King of the Monsters, and then this.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought Skull Island came out way like a long time ago.
Let me, I'll double check, but
Unless maybe I never saw Skull. Was Skull Island not the one that Peter Jackson did?
2017 is when Skull Island came out. Their first Godzilla
Oh,
was 2014.
well, I didn't. I guess I never saw Skull Island, and that's my bad.
But here's the thing is that that person, whoever this chick was, who was the Kong Whisperer, they called her.
Yeah.
She was talking about how she's been monitoring him for 10 plus years and all this stuff. And okay, so then why weren't you in the movie 4 years ago? The movie that came out in 2017, why weren't you a part of that movie if you were supposedly the expert who's been around him for 10 years? So that kind of bugged me. The other thing that bugged me is where did this mysterious storm come from that destroyed Skull Island, and how come they didn't say anything other than, "Oh, the storm came in, so we had to build this dome."
Don't know. Now I feel stupid because I thought this was the King Kong from Peter Jackson's King Kong. I didn't realize that there was a different King Kong that came out 4 years ago. So
Yeah, Skull Island was the one that was supposedly in this arc.
yeah, I didn't realize that. Though. Like I said, I thought it was the same movie from 2005.
Oh,
So
Kong, you thought it was Kong.
yeah,
Okay. that makes sense. But yeah, Skull Island was decent. It had Tom Hiddleston in it, which it was weird looking at him without his long Loki dark black hair, but it was still, it was still fun to watch. I enjoyed Skull Island a lot. In fact, I enjoyed all three. This one was just there were little just things like that pulled me out of it. The other thing that pulled me out of it, and you mentioned this too, and we'll get to it in a second, but in the beginning, Godzilla attacked Apex. Why did
Hmm.
Godzilla attack Apex? Because he was provoked. He, disappeared for 3 years. He doesn't really come out of hiding unless he has to, unless he's provoked.
Hmm.
So when Kong is floating across the ocean, kind of minding his own business, not really, it's not like he's standing up calling to Godzilla or anything, but and they're out of Godzilla's known charted territory. Why did he just show up? Why did he show up to attack Kong? Kong didn't call him out. He wasn't making noise, and they already showed in the beginning of the movie that Kong only attacked out. So I don't understand why he all of a sudden.
That he somehow he got the scent of Kong and scenes with no transition between them. Out like, was somebody way back
Oh, see, and I guess I didn't.
as big as each scene called him to be. You know, when you
Right.
when you first when you first see him on the Skull Island dome, he does not look like he's anywhere near Godzilla's size.
No, no.
You know, and then but yet when they're fighting each other, they're almost exactly the same size.
Right.
And there were plenty of other scenes like that where I was like, so Kong has this amazing ability to um, change his shape to fit the story, what the story is, or how big he needs to be for that particular scene.
Right.
It was kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, and there were a couple other things too, like when he gave him that right hook, gave Godzilla the right hook on the boat and everything. It was just there were little things that were like, okay, that was odd. That was weird. Um,
Yeah, well, he's clearly a trained boxer.
yeah. The other thing that took me a little bit to figure out when whoever that Apex owner was, whatever, when he visited that doctor in the basement of his office basement or whatever, when that guy showed up to recruit the Kong Whisperer, and I can't remember her name for the life of me, but it, I thought it was a different actor. I looked at him and I'm like, who's this guy now?
No,
And
it's the same guy.
yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. I don't know if
I do think his haircut changed though.
his haircut and he shaved and everything. He
Yeah,
just looked like a different person. That was something that they probably shouldn't have done. Simply, and maybe other people it didn't pull them out, but it actually pulled me out where I was going, who the fuck is this guy now? Why is he all of a sudden invested? So, and the last thing that I was really
As long while we're on that guy, I just want to say that it's also that some guys you just see and you've seen him in something for so long that he's just they're just that person to you. I kept wondering why Eric the vampire from True Blood was cared that much about saving the world. You know,
or yeah, kind of like I can't watch the new Walker because all I see is Sam Winchester.
yeah,
And he's not acting like Sam Winchester, and I just can't do it. Um,
right.
so I get where you're coming from there. But the last thing that really was confusing to me was the ending. The three people that knew how to build those Hiva, whatever they were, crafts, were all dead. The guy that had the money to pay for it was dead. The three that they had were destroyed. There was the one that was destroyed by that, whatever that flying thing was when they first got to Hollow Earth. The second one was destroyed by Kong, and then the third one they blew up when they restarted Kong. So how the hell did they get back to Hollow Earth to have a Monarch outpost down there?
Well, did they ever specifically say there was only three herbs or three heaves, or
I
did
don't
they
know.
only show three on the mission?
Well, they only showed three on the mission. I guess they didn't specifically say it, but I would assume that if they're gonna, make this, that they're gonna send their whole fleet. They're not
No,
just gonna send three.
No, they're just going to send the number of people they think they need for that mission. Why would they and why would they risk all every one of their keep the ones that they have just to work on them to make them better?
Well, here's an energy source that is means I would throw my whole fleet at it. because if two of them or three, I
Yeah,
but
I movie is just just sit back and mindless entertainment, watching a couple of monsters fight it out. I don't want to spoil the ending of it, like who they're facing off against at the end, because I actually kind of did that accidentally to a friend of ours, to Mike, Jeff, the other day we were talking. He's like, I wonder who's gonna win, and I said, um, okay, spoiler alert,
well,
don't listen,
that's
stop
this
listening.
wole thing is
So.
spoiler alerts, so
I
we're
know.
going to
I'm
talk
just
about
saying, like if
spoilers
you don't want to know how the movie ends, don't listen here. So,
because we're going to
uh,
talk about it for a few minutes because there were a few
yeah,
things there that I
yeah.
wanted
So,
to bring up.
so, so I told him. This is done by Warner Media, the same people that did like Batman versus Superman. So I could easily see these guys like, battling out. Like one of them's about to die, and then all of a sudden they end up teaming up against, I don't know, like Mecha Ghidorah or something. And he's like, Mecha Ghidorah, that exists? And I was like, yeah,
Gojira.
this Ghidorah. What's that?
It's Mecha Godzilla, but Serizawa called him Gojira.
No, it turned out to be Mecha Godzilla, but I was thinking it'd be Mecha Ghidorah.
Oh, okay.
So I was like really really close to what was going to happen at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and I mean the whole thing about how it was brought to life by Monster Zero and everything too
Yeah.
was when Monster Zero was dead but not dead. I'm I was I just confused by that whole thing too. Um, but yeah, the fact that they became buddies at the end too was like, okay, now Godzilla's okay with having a second alpha all of a sudden.
Well, but he wasn't really, right? Because he wasn't really a second alpha when at that point Godzilla had already beaten him.
Right, but at the end of it with him, holding the axe and basically being the second king of the monsters, it was like that, okay, now there's two king of the monsters.
Yeah, I
I,
guess.
they were just, yeah, and I get it. I mean, he did defeat him, and it was kind of a little nod saying thanks, you helped me out and saved my life and blah blah. But I don't, it was another weird little thing where this is supposed to be, these two badass monsters battling out to see who was number one, and they at the end of it, they're just like, hey, let's shake and make up. You go your way, I'll go mine.
Yeah, and really it was Godzilla's atomic fire breath that allowed Kong to have his axe supercharged to be able to defeat Mechagodzilla.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it was a team effort, but it was just it was kind of a weird little thing there to have that at the ending where it's like they bill it one way and then it just takes this swerve at the end, and all
Well,
of a
yeah, but
sudden they're buddies.
did you really expect though either Kong or um what I mean? Did you expect either one of those to actually die or to lose to the other permanently or any of that stuff? I didn't.
No, I guess I didn't either. But now
Yeah.
where do they go? Is this the end of the monster movies? I mean, then he gets all the monsters in order, and then he disappears for years. But then all of a sudden he comes back and destroys Apex, and I think you had texted me about it. It's like he was provoked. No, he wasn't provoked. He just, he changed. He's now an asshole.
Yeah, and it's like, well, he attacked, but we don't know why. Well, if you don't know why, then how can you just assume he wasn't provoked?
Right.
So that was the thing that got to me. Is like, really?
Yeah, and it was funny because, okay, so now he's been our savior since 2014, but he attacks one time, and we're just going to say that now he's a bad guy and we hate him and he's trying to kill us all.
Yep, yep.
So,
Um, yeah, that part didn't make any sense. But if you don't think about it too much, it's really a fun movie to watch.
how about this? Don't think about it at all. Just sit down, sit down, watch it, enjoy. There's, like I said, the fight scenes between the two were great. They were just great. I enjoyed the fight scenes, and and even the fight scene at the end against Mechagodzilla, I really enjoyed. The fight scenes were fun. The story build had some continuity issues, but it was okay. Uh, yeah, watch it, don't think, just enjoy. Eat your popcorn, watch the movie, and just enjoy that you're getting Transformers.
It is pretty cool too that Kong had built his axe, a while back from the one of the fins in the back on the back of Godzilla.
Well, it wasn't Kong, it was his ancestors.
Well, whatever. Either way.
But yeah, you're right. It was the fin that which is what made it so Godzilla could nuke it, basically.
Right. Right. Exactly. So, um, before we go, I just wanted to let you know, you and I like those dark comedians like Anthony Jeselnik, right?
Hmm.
And I was kind of in the mood for that. So I was looking on YouTube the other day, and I found this 19-year-old or this clip from a 19-year-old kid at a comedy place that was doing all these dark one-liners. And I can't remember like a ton of them, but I wanted to tell you this one where he's like, "Do you think Kurt Cobain's parents regret telling him to shoot for the stars,
I
or or wait, I'm not done, or to
oh,
use
sorry.
his head?"
That's hilarious. It's funny you
Wait,
bring
wait,
up.
wait, wait, wait. Should I not have said that? Well, I thought it was worth a shot.
Wow. Okay, that one. Um, so it's funny you bring up comedians because I was watching Todd Snyder. He's a guy that did Beer Run,
Okay.
and I was watching some of his stuff, and he has one that literally had me on the floor rolling. He was talking about how he was into jam bands, and he was actually the lead singer of a jam band, and he figured he'd play the part with it by taking acid or LSD or something like that. And it's 8 minutes of fucking hysterical, and it's like a real it's a true story from when he was before became a comedian. So if you get a chance, look that up. It's LSD in the banana or something like that. It's hysterical,
Okay. Todd
absolutely
Snyder, LSD
hysterical.
and banana. Okay.
I mean, I just searched Todd Snyder banana and it came up.
I bet you would have Todd Snyder's banana,
Well,
and
that was
I bet it came up.
wow, wow. That was yeah,
Well,
LSD banana story. It's definitely worth a listen. It's 9 minutes long and it is hysterical.
okay, I'll give it a shot. All right, so be back in a few minutes. Talk about to preview NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver,
And talk about this week's Dynamite. Did you watch it? Did you
which
finish
I
it?
finally finished this morning and at about half an hour before we started our show. Yeah.
All right, yeah,
So,
the ending was a little rough, but that inner circle pinnacle bit was fantastic.
all right, sounds good.
All right.